All right, guys. So in this video, we're going to talk about how I went from 0 to 40 grand a month in 8 weeks. This is a full case study. A lot of this is retroactive data. The only reason why I'm talking about this right now is because, and I never make beginner stuff anymore. Anything that has to do with going from zero to hero, I never do, because there's so much mindset stuff that beginners have to overcome. And I know this because I was a beginner at one point, but I'm sharing this, number one, for transparency, and number two, for brand, and number three, for trust, so that when you do cross that 30 grand a month threshold and you do become a client of mine, you'll realize that everything I was talking about in these videos was right, and you will trust me that much more. P.S. I have done this twice now. In 2023, I built and scaled an AI education business when ChatGPT first came around to 20 grand a month in 8 weeks. And in 2024, I built a coaching/consulting business at the end of 2023 into 2024, going on to very recently in 2025. And I just transitioned out of that business into what I'm doing now, which is Ventiscale, which is getting leads for businesses, and deal flow. So I scaled that business to over 40 grand a month in less than 8 weeks. And I'm currently building Ventiscale, my marketing agency, in front of everyone in real time. So some proof, because it's important to me. This is Stripe only. This does not include PayPal. So please take that into consideration. November 2023, I made $0. Point blank period. I was unemployed, had been scammed, tens of thousands of dollars in debt, made $0. 4 weeks later, in December 2023, this is a screenshot again. This is just Stripe. This is just cash collected. I definitely know for a fact I crossed 10K in revenue, but this is just cash collected. And then 8 weeks later, in January 2023, we were just under 30 grand a month in cash collected just with Stripe. It was probably about 35K a month in cash collected in total. And then we probably did about 50K in revenue. A lot of people were on 50% payment plans. So again, these screenshots are just cash collected, just in Stripe. I was an idiot. I didn't track my numbers. So it's crazy how I even made it this far, but you get the point, right? So I did this twice over. I'm pretty good at scaling from 0 to that 40, 50 grand a month mark. So you get the point. Before I show you how to do it and show you how I'm doing this same thing again in real time, let me just introduce myself properly. So my name is Pablo. I'm the founder of Ventiscale, a B2B marketing agency. We currently generate over $250,000 a month in deal flow for our clients. And I'm making these videos and all of my other videos for one very simple purpose, because my goal is to help you make more money. I make no income claims. These results are not typical. So to scale, let's get into it. To scale your business, you either do one of three things. You either bring in more business, so deal flow, how we do it for our clients and we do it for ourselves. You either charge more, which you should very likely be charging more, or you close at a higher rate. The closing rate is hard to increase. It's hard to increase, especially if once you've gotten closers and you've outsourced that. It's hard to bring that north of 30%. If you're a founder doing your own sales calls, you should be closing at least at 40 to 45%. So the answer to scale quickly, to make huge income jumps, from 0 to 40 grand a month in 8 weeks, the answer is almost always more deal flow. This is why I'm in the business of getting people deal flow, because I make them a lot of money, and then in return, it makes me money. It's a great situation. So we generate deal flow for B2B businesses, just to give you an idea, if this is your first time here, by building and running cold email client acquisition systems for high-ticket B2B businesses. Most B2B businesses suck at cold email, or they lack cold email as a client acquisition system. So they light their money on fire with ads, and they don't understand why their ads aren't working. And this way, we are able to attract high budget, high interest leads and deals, thereby bringing in new deal flow for the business and new cash flow into their business, allowing them to scale quickly. Some proof of what we do. The link to this document is in the description, but this campaign has been running for just a couple of weeks. We've generated over 70 grand in deal flow. This is one of several campaigns for this client. We break down our case studies. This is a real-time screenshot of a deal coming in and the founder's reaction. Behind the scenes of how we build this stuff. This is the architecture. Some more proof. This was in March, 66 grand. This is very routine. And in April, 33 grand in opportunities, pipeline generated deal flow. Client testimonials and case study interviews on my YouTube channel. So the short answer is, if you want to go from 0 to whatever it is, to scale, again, you either bring in more business, so deal flow, you charge more, or you close at a higher rate. Now, if you want to scale quickly, you need all of these things, plus an offer that catches hot fire. You will know if your offer is that, if your offer has caught hot fire. If your offer is doing really well, you'll know. It's just impossible to ignore. If you don't have that situation happening for you right now, keep testing either multiple offers, or better yet, multiple angles, until your offer catches fire via cold email or the content that you're putting out. There's a reason why I'm putting out so much content. It's because the more content you put out, better your chances are of figuring out the thing that you said that made your offer super enticing to people. or the way you positioned it, or the YouTube title. You just need feedback. To get feedback, you need data. To get data, you got to put stuff out. This is why we stress cold email, before ads. They can both coexist, but cold email before ads. Test your offer in cold email before ads because the feedback is so quickly. I can spin up a cold email campaign, launch it in 48 hours. I'll have a really good idea of how the framing of my offer was, and you can A, B, C, Z test things. So that, I digress. That's besides the point. So you'll know if your offer is hot fire. If not, keep testing multiple offers, or better yet, keep testing multiple angles until it catches fire via cold email or content. I was relying on organic content when I scaled this business right here, this consulting coaching business. It was B2C, by the way. Both of those actually were B2C. I'm in B2B now, and I like it. I love it. So I was relying on organic content, which is very bad to only be relying on organic content. Unless like your middle of funnel is superb. So your newsletters, your nurturing, your appointment setting, your VSLs, like if that is airtight, sure, rely on organic content and actually just please do yourself a favor and go hire a content agency. But if you're just doing it yourself, I mean, you got to be like some famous TikTok celebrity to really sustain that. So that was very bad of me, but hey, I was a rookie and I was broke and I had no other option. So I was posting like crazy, and I was posting multiple times a day. So it was only a matter of time before one caught fire. Now there's a reason why I'm doing this again as I'm building Vincescale, is because I know how this stuff works. I know how to very quickly go from 0 to whatever, 50K. So perhaps we'll talk about offers another time. There's already so much information out there on how to make a good offer. And to my target audience, the offer is usually already dialed in. So at the 30K a month mark, this is no time to be doubting your offer. If anything, we are refining it for cold traffic like we do in cold email, or we're creating an intro offer, a version of your offer that doesn't have any retainers or ongoing contracts. It's just a one-time fee, but we don't touch the offer that got you here. We just pour more gasoline on it, and in comes a deal. By the way, if you're a complete beginner and you found yourself watching this video, come back to this when you are making 30 grand a month, and this will all make a lot of sense. It's like when you watch a movie and then you reflect on it, and then you come back and watch it in 6 months and you notice things that you didn't notice before. It's kind of like that. So we don't touch the offer that got you here. We just pour more gasoline on it, and in comes the deal flow. So let's clarify what deal flow is, because people get this confused. Deal flow is like leads, but it's bigger. So we're not talking about $200 leads, because lead gen has become synonymous with these $200 leads, $300 leads. We're not talking about that. We're not talking about $200 leads for your $500 gig. We're talking about tickets in the tens of thousands of dollars range. So if I have to tell you to raise your price, we are already entering dangerous territory. Your price should be exorbitantly high. You should be the most expensive thing walking, the most expensive option on the market, period. Now, unless you are viral on the internet, or you are some e-com wizard or some huge info guy, which is still having to be viral on the internet, you will not hit these numbers, the numbers we're talking about today in this video, 20K a month to 50K a month and beyond. You won't hit those numbers charging anything less than 5 grand. So please don't charge anything less than 5 grand. You can make it there, but if you've made it here, to this revenue threshold, charging less than 5K per ticket, that's a sign that you should be charging more anyway. Raising your price is the single fastest way to literally double, 2x your monthly take home in literally the next 30 days. Now, if you do B2B or if you are a somewhat authority in your space, please, 5K per engagement is a new minimum. My clients, so agencies, marketing agencies, staffing agencies, manufacturing firms, financial services firms, they start around 10 grand per engagement. It's not a lot of money. Okay, now let's get deeper into the psyche, because this is important if we want to be doing numbers like this on the regular. Let's get into the psyche. Why I bring up billing price is because it's easier to hit 40 grand a month by selling 4 10K packages than to sell 22K packages. It's a lot of work. Trust me, I've done it. When I built that business, we were talking about, I was charging $2,500 and $3,500, and I had to do a lot of sales calls. It was a lot of work. I was spending a lot of my time on the phones. No bueno, not good. And it literally takes less effort. It sounds crazy until you do it. And if you know, you know. It literally takes less effort, less marketing, less pieces of content, less effort in your content, less convincing, and less time across the board. So again, your content creation, your cold email campaigns, your sales calls, so on and so forth, it takes less effort to sell more expensive stuff. Sounds crazy until you do it, and those who know. But rich and affluent people like things that are very short, clear, concise, and to the point. So go watch Myron Golden's stuff. A lot of this was planted in my head by him. I've linked him in this document. Number 2, why I bring up billing prices, because you will attract a better client, which is important. That 2.5K to 3.5K threshold that I was billing at, still attracts a really terrible client. Payment plans, let me think about it kind of stuff, especially B2C. Now, number 3, raising your price allows you to essentially quantum leap to new income levels, like we were talking about before. It's the fastest way to double your monthly take home. The only thing that stops people from raising their price, we're talking about how to go from 0 to 40 grand a month. This is how you do it. Now, the only thing that stops people from raising their price is their self-esteem and self-image. They're trapped in this idea of what they think is a lot, of money. So 2 things will help you with this, if this is you. Number 1, doing the math on the value you bring, which is why it's so important to sell quantitative things, tangible results, which is why that is exactly why I transitioned out of coaching. Now I might go back into it, but I mean, like, that kind of coaching for, direct to consumer rather than coaching, B2B coaching, right? So doing the math on the value you bring. So here's an excerpt from one of my other guides, which I've linked in this document right here. How to add multiple 6 figures a month in deal flow to your business. So if you are in a high ticket B2B business, your prices should be exorbitantly high, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So I charged 16 grand at the time of putting this together. Below is one of 3 email campaigns that we're currently running for an active client of ours. 70 grand in deals on the table, less than 3 weeks in, and just one of our campaigns. Client closes at 25 to 30%. So here we are looking at 17.5 to 21 grand that they will collect on this deal. There's over 100 grand in deal flow in the pipeline right now, and we still have 9 weeks to go. So do the math on how much they'll collect. This is why I can get away with charging 16K. It is not a lot when you think about what they get on the back end. So that is how you do the math in your head to make sense of it. That's how you get around that mental block. Number 1. That's why it's important to not sell feelings-based stuff. Take it from me, I made that mistake. Number 2, getting around people who think bigger and who talk bigger numbers. What you think of as a lot of money right now for your sake needs to be normalized. 99% of people, so likely including you, especially beginners, think they are exempt from this. They think they are exempt and from this rule of you are who you hang out with sort of thing. So this is why I'm very selective of who I let around me and into my head, the content, the people, in person, especially beginners. So get around people who talk bigger numbers. If you can't, then you should just literally have 5 to 6 to 7 people you listen to on YouTube religiously who talk big numbers. That's what I do right now. So that is price. You got to get that in order, or else none of this works. You can't sell $5 stuff unless you make it big in e-com. So now deal flow, right? Because your closing rate's it's gonna be what it is. You've raised your price, cool, to a price that kind of scares you, great. Now deal flow. Here's what you do and what it takes to scale big and to scale fast. So, and this is my specialty, which I'm excited about. So output on both cold front, on both the cold front and the warm front. So cold traffic mechanisms and warm. So let me just make that a lot simpler. So on the cold front is cold email. On the warm front, you do organic content. No ads. We're not talking about ads because we're assuming you don't have money for ads yet. So these are multiple client acquisition systems working in tandem. Your organic content is a client acquisition system. It's part of how you acquire a client. Your cold email is part of how you acquire a client. Let me go and show you. This is a cold email client acquisition system that we build. This is a cold email client acquisition system that we build for our clients. Now, they are both equally as important, cold and warm. Cold email will set you up for ads in the next phase when you hit that 20 to 30 grand a month mark. If you have to use ads to get there, then I don't know. You shouldn't be watching this video because you had money. So cold email will set you up for ads in the next phase, as you will know what works. What works in cold email will work in ads, but not the other way around. And that is how and why people hit 20 to 30K a month and then go broke. I've had this happen to me before. Take it from me. Because they realize their ads don't work anymore at scale because they didn't know why they were working. It wasn't their offer, it's because one of their pieces of content went viral, and so their ads rode the wave, but really it wasn't their offer. So organic content is important for trust and audience building. And then cold email on the cold front is important for testing your offer. And you will be replicating what you're doing in cold email with ads. You can just do a lot more cold email with a lot less financial investment, and it's a lot easier to scale. It's very linear and predictable to know how many emails you have to send to make a certain dollar amount. So now you have output on both the cold front and the warm front. So now you have to do 10 times more output than you think you need to do. That's the answer. Once you have output, once you are producing output, you do 10 times more output than you think you need to do. So take whatever you think is a lot of output, then double that. If you don't have time, then this is not for you. I currently do 1 YouTube video per day. I record 10 reels a day by myself. I just take my phone and just record. I don't repurpose my YouTube videos for my shorts. No, I just record from scratch. My competition does maybe 2 YouTube videos a week and 2 reels a day. Good luck competing against me. I will crush you. Note the date of me recording this and when I made this document. It's August 2024. It's Sunday, August 2024, 2025. I will crush you. There's no way you can compete. So you need to build a lot of trust. This is why I do this. You need to build a lot of trust, and you need to build it quickly, because you need a lot of magnetism at the top of the funnel, and then you need as many people going through the funnel as possible, and staying and because they're going to take time. It takes them time to exist in that funnel before they come out the bottom as clientele. And the time that they're spending in this funnel, it's about gaining trust, building trust, seeing you as their person. And so think about things like watch time, right? They need watch hours. You need to maximize watch hours. So just focus on putting out a lot of cold emails and a lot of content. I post a lot. I also send a lot of cold emails for my agency still. Now, and it will be like that for at least the next year. Now, let's talk about where I went wrong in this journey that I did twice over, and now I'm doing for a third time in front of your faces. Let's talk about where I went wrong and what you should avoid doing at all costs as you scale. First off, not capturing data. So especially, when you're scaling at this rate, 7, 14, 21, 28, 30, I like 4x my income, and it was dumb. Like, I scaled so quickly, it was insane. And when you're scaling that quickly, if you don't have your systems in place, then something's going to go wrong. So capture your data so that you don't have to start from scratch again. How do you do this? Is very simple. Lead magnets, opt-ins, get emails, names. Phone numbers is optional, but get emails and names. Capture the data and then nurture them, right? Not charging enough. So like I said before, I was charging $2.5K at the start for a 1-hour engagement, which I thought was a lot at the time, but it really wasn't. Then 3.5K, and even this was not enough, because I was looking at how much I was having to do at 30K a month, 40K a month, 50K a month, and how much I was making and how much I was charging, and it was just not enough. I only like having 7 to 10 clients at a time. That's just me personally, like really good clients. I was still attracting poor clients because my prices were still in that range where they could just afford it if they use a payment plan. And hey, I didn't grow up with much. I have nothing against poor people. It's just they're a headache, because so much of their income has to go towards, survival purposes. So they're really, really price sensitive. And I didn't come into business to have those kind of headaches. So I was still attracting, if I'm going to have headaches, they got to pay me well. So I was still attracting poor clients because of how I was pricing my stuff and my messaging. And that in itself should be another video, messaging. So number 3, not having multiple client acquisition systems. So as you can see, I pretty much did the opposite of everything I told you to do in this video. So if you listen to me, you'll do very well. And this is totally free. No course at the end. So not having multiple client acquisition systems. I only relied on organic content, which meant that if I got banned on that platform, on TikTok, for instance, which happened to me in this business right here, the AI education business, that actually happened to me, which is crazy. I got banned on that platform, and if I didn't post for a day or two, it would kill my momentum. It would kill my deal flow, and I would feel it a week or two later. I would have started cold email from the start, point blank period. I also would have shifted to B2B, to be honest with you, so that I could do cold email really well at scale. And this would have made ads, when I did decide to run ads, because I did, I spent a lot of money on ads. This would have made running ads a real gold mine. And I was already seeing 5 to 10 return on my ads, which is great. But it was because I wasn't doing ads at super scale. I was only running enough ads to make me 40, whatever, 50 grand a month. And I was already seeing a great return on ads, but I had no idea why. But it's because my organic content was good. Number 4 is not capturing data and nurturing. I mentioned this already, but there was next to no middle of funnel. I was literally going, this is how aggressive my funnel was. I posted content, and at the end of my content, my call to action was hit the link in my bio to book a call. They'd book a call, and I'd sell them a 3.5K offer, just like that. But just all off short form content. And next is not hiring sooner. So I thought I could do it all myself. I would have hired sooner. I just didn't know who to hire. And then so number 6 is not knowing what order to hire people in. So always protect and prioritize deal flow first. Make sure the deal flow never ends. So hire appointment setters, then closers. Always. Probably hire the ratio from setters to closers should be like 3x. I'm just making stuff up. But hire more setters than you have closers. Keep the closers really busy. Always. Always. You can close as a founder at 40% plus. Get setters first, or get a content agency, or however you get your deal flow, and keep your calendar booked, and then we can talk about getting closers. So I hope that helps. Very straightforward, no BS guide. My offers. If you are above 20 grand a month in B2B, we will build you a custom cold email lead gen machine. We will run it with you for 90 days so you get meetings with exact fit high ticket buyers. You retain full ownership of the entire system so you can run it yourself forever. It's the exact same system that we use right now to generate over $250,000 in pipeline every single month for our clients. Pay one time, no recurring fees or monthly contracts. So if you're closing at 25%, think about what that kind of deal flow coming into your business would look like in terms of cash collected. I don't know what you close at. That's why I don't make any income claims on your behalf. But anyway, hit the link in my bio, or hit the link in the description, to go to my website and book a call with myself. If you are below 20K a month but have budget, we can discuss setting it up for you. Just make sure you have budget. The link to this document, plus this free pipeline architecture that shows you how to get 10 plus high ticket leads per month, is in the description for free. See you guys in the next video. I'm out. Peace.